Howdy y'all! So this is kind of a random thought that I had during homework, which I'm procrastinating right now, but it happens. So let's get this video started so I can tell you about the random thought I had during my homework assignments. Hi everyone! Welcome to Creative Bards, or welcome back to Creative Bards. My name is Paige Bard, and I am a college student who doesn't want to do homework, which I know probably a lot of you relate to. So, in doing so, this is me procrastinating my homework, but I will get it done because I have one assignment left, so I'm not that worried. That being said, I was listening to a YouTube channel while I was doing my homework and being productive, and this YouTuber is a good friend of mine. His name is Noah McAllister. His YouTube channel is called Noah McAllister. I can link everything down below, so use his tag. I don't know how to hold my hand. Like that. It's right there. So basically, I was listening to a lot of videos that he's doing in his channel right now. He has a really interesting channel. I do highly recommend watching it. He has some really good points on a couple books or music if you like horror and metal bands. So he's a really fun person to listen to. So, and he also talks about a lot of theological stuff, or just like stuff in general. One of them was the importance of reading. And as a writer, I know you can't write without reading. Like it's something that's tied in and very much important. But I also know that I have a couple of friends who are like, I really, really want to read, but where do I start? And I think that's something that's important to, one, understand, like, yes, you do want to do it, and you are accepting the fact that, yes, it's hard. As someone who is an avid reader, I have a massive to-be read list, and that's not all of them, because I have 2 in my bag that I need to add to that. And that's just the pile. I have an actual list on my phone, and it's long, and it's terrifying, and it's like, where do I even start with this? So as an avid reader to another avid reader to somebody who's kind of in the middle and somebody who's just starting, there are many avenues to reading. There's not just, what's a good one? There's not just a paper book. Like, this is the only way you can read. There's lots of different ways to read and lots of different avenues. So we're gonna start with what I think are the 3 basic readings. Like the 3 basic ways to read. Alright, so number 1 is your basic paper copy. As someone who is a book dragon, I don't like to call myself a bookworm, I'm a book dragon because I hoard. I have tons and tons of books. As you can see, there's a small pile right here. Ignore that. From Sherlock Holmes, I got Lord of the Rings back there. This shelf isn't completely covered in books. The one right behind me is completely covered in books. I got my to-be-read pile. I got a bookcase back there full of books. I got books in my garage. But here's the thing. The reason why I love paperback books is because I love holding something and feeling like how thick it is, and then the satisfying thing of like, where's the book I pulled? And this is actually a great example of one of the books. So I have my paper copy. This is actually my father's. And I just like being able to like do that, and then I can see where my bookmark is and how far I have read and how far I haven't. And it's just it's just fun. And it's also more physical way of showing like, hey, I'm reading, please don't bother me. Does that actually work? No. But it's one way of being like, oh, sorry, in the middle of something, give me, like, the classic, I'll talk to you at the end of this chapter. So, I also like the smell of books. It's just enjoyable to me. I have a almost foolproof way of, like, if this book smells good, it's a good book. I have been proven wrong. There was a book I read, I can't remember the title, it wasn't my cup of tea. So I don't think there's such thing as a bad book. There's just a book isn't for you. So off tangent. But yes, thing one, the paperback or the hardcover. All right, number 2 is ebook. So my family, my father does ebook mostly, but that's because he travels a lot, so he wants a thinner bag. So he has a Nook. And it just has more storage, it's easier to transport and everything. I can understand why he likes ebooks. It's just more of a convenient way. I just also like showing off my library. He does the same way. He's both an ebook reader and a physical copy reader. It's just, his thing is like, it's just easier to carry around. My mom and I agree that we prefer physical copies because if we drop this in the bathtub, I'm not gonna have my entire library just go poof. I'll just have this one book. But it's just easier to just like dry this out. And number 3, possibly the most controversial one, and I don't know why. I almost slammed my desk and that would have sent my laptop falling. But, I don't understand why audiobook is so, like, I've seen a bunch of memes and everything where everyone's like, audiobooks is not actually reading. In my opinion, audiobooks is a good way to start reading. Because you get to hear the world, and that's what people are used to, especially if you watch movies, you're used to seeing and listening. And it's just a good transitional way of going from, like, yoop. And plus, there's so many good books out there on audiobook. I listen to the Jurassic Parks all the time on audiobook. Why? Because I'm a busy college student. I have school. I run a YouTube channel. I go to work. I run a D&D campaign. It's like, I don't have time to sit down and read. And if I do, it's going to be my textbooks. Or, like, I'm religious, so it's going to be my scriptures. So I'm like, I don't have time to sit down and read a book. So it's just nice to have an audiobook playing. Like, I've listened to Pride and Prejudice. I've listened to Jurassic Park, The Lost World, one of my favorite series I found through audiobook. It's just an easier, I don't want to call it easier, it's a more convenient thing. You can listen to it while you do the dishes, while you work out, while you do homework, if you can multitask like that. Like I said before, it's just a good way to get into reading. I have a friend who does want to read Pride and Prejudice. For those who have read Pride and Prejudice, you know that the language is very different from ours right now. So I was like, if you want to get used to the language, I recommend doing this. Watch the 2005 version. Possibly because it's my favorite, but we're not going to get into that. We can talk about that on a different video if y'all want to. So watch the movie, watch the show, because they talk more in that eloquent English. I can promise. And then listen to it. You can listen to it on YouTube, you can listen to it on Audible, or any other reading, streaming thing. And then actually read the book, because it's a lot better. You're, like, able to grasp it more. Like, you've seen it multiple times, and then you listen to it, and now you can read it on paper. And that's when you can make your notes and everything. Which, another video coming up. Why I think making notes is a good idea in a book. Real quick. I do want to say this, it is okay to dip into other ways, like I've said, like I do physical and audio, those are my 2 ways. My father, he does physical, audio, and ebook. My mother also does physical and audio, my sister just does audio. My brother does comics. Like that's another thing, it's like even with all this, you still got subsections. So if you want to start reading and you see all these things and you're like, holy cow, I don't know what to do, pick one. Just pick one and work with it. If you want to read manga and comics, ebooks and physical might be more your thing. If you want to read, but you want more of that like dramatic flair to it, tons of audiobooks are that type of way now. You got more dramatized audiobooks. If you just want to relax, reading may not be for you. For those who have been reading for a long time, we all know the most stressful thing we've done is pick up a book. Hands down, I have thrown books across the room before, and will continue to do it. I am still mad at Harry Potter. I hope y'all enjoy this video, and I hope y'all kind of understand what I was going for. I don't even know what I was going for, to be honest. This was just a fun little rant. Again, Noah, thank you for posting that video. It was super informational and super fun for me as an avid reader to encourage my friends who do want to read. So yeah, comment down below what's your favorite way to read a book. And what's your favorite book to read on a daily basis? You guys now know mine. I am a Jurassic Park fan. So, and that does influence Magic Realm a lot, as you guys will see during more of these videos where I talk about my world. And yeah, so I hope you all stay safe, have a good one, and keep turning pages. Bye!